Hey, what's up you guys, it's Connor, and I'm here with Nook. Today we're going to be doing a bit of a book haul, and by a bit, I mean kind of a sizable book haul. Today we're going to cover all of the books that I've received and or bought before the holidays, and then in my next book haul, I'll cover all the books that I got for Christmas, as well as my birthday. I recently turned 30, so that's a thing. But let's just jump into the books. The first thing in this haul is going to be this parcel. This, I think, is something to do with Brandon Sanderson. I had pre-ordered the leather-bound edition of Way of Kings, something like that, and it had all these extra bonuses and stuff, and not everything was sent when I hauled that, however many months ago that was. That just shows you how long it's been since I did a book haul. So then there was this that says, "Thank you for supporting the Way of Kings 10th anniversary leather-bound edition pre-order Kickstarter campaign," and in there are what looks like a couple of coasters. I guess I'll just open it. Hi, Nookie. Mwah. Nook is doing well. Stevie is sitting right here next to me, smelling everything. If you did not see the most recent Bully Make unboxing, which I think covered up until October, we have 2 new dogs in the house because Belle passed away. That was heartbreaking, but Belle was a rescue, so we decided to rescue more dogs because our house was too quiet. Drink coasters. That is one of the characters that's in the book. There's one side. There's the other. On the back of the one that I previously showed you, there's that. Horn Eater White. And on the back is one of the characters from the book. And then the last different one is this one. That's Stella barking. And on the back, it looks like that. I just turned the overhead light off, so I'm sorry if that changed colors. There's a sticker that says Journey Before Destination, which is one of the Stormlight sayings. An epic book requires an epic bookmark. There's a gigantic bookmark because the books are giant. There's some stickers. I'm not going to bore you with every single thing. There's that thank you. There's a playing deck of cards. Maybe I will bore you. I'm not going to open them though. And because you supported the Kickstarter, you could pick which coin you wanted, and I don't even remember which coin I wanted, but it came with a coin that has wit on it. I can't get it to focus, but there's a patch, a pin. Oh, apparently I chose the Else collar. I don't remember what that means. It's been so long since I've read that series. I still need to read the 4th book, so I'm sure I'll get reacquainted here in a little bit. But that came with its own coin, and it has a face on the back. There was also a patch in there and a pin that matches. So that was cool to get all the swag that was supposed to come along with the book. All right, moving on to actual books. The first one is in this box. This one was sent to me by Macmillan. I don't know which imprint. I should have gotten scissors. And there's a letter, "Dear reader, I don't know you, blah, blah, blah." There was a print of the cover of the book, I assume. There's a signed book plate. And in there was an arc of a spindle splintered. This came out, I'm assuming already, October 2021. Sorry about that. It appears that this one is going to have something to do with fairy tales and probably Sleeping Beauty who pricked her finger on a spindle. It's also quite short and it is illustrated. Let me find. So it's got the illustrations on that side. Stella is a barker. But I'll let you guys know what I think when I check it out. It seems like it can be used to boost my reading number because in 2021, I only read 31 books, so I'm hoping in 2022 to do much better than that. Next up is this one, and I'm assuming what this is because of the picture on the front. I recognize that. Oh, yeah. So in there was a copy of Aristotle and Dante Discover the Secrets of the Universe by Benjamin Aliri Sanz. I've actually read this book. I don't think I did a book review on it, but I did have it in a wrap-up at some point. So if I can find that, I'll link it. But I did really enjoy this book, so I am excited that they also included an arc, ooh, this one's chunky, of the next book, Aristotle and Dante Dive into the Waters of the World. This one has already come out, and I ended up getting a physical copy of it. That'll be in the next haul. But I'm excited to continue along and see what is happening with these characters next. If you guys don't know, this follows 2 boys, and during the course of this story, they have a friendship, and then it develops into something potentially more, and it won a ton of awards. To be honest, I don't remember a whole lot of the actual details of what happens in here. I just remember my feelings while reading it and really enjoying it, if that makes sense. So I might have to do a reread of this first book before I jump into this one, but I'm happy to add these two to my collection. I also read another book by him, which was, I had to look it up, The Inexplicable Logic of My Life, and I really enjoyed that one as well. So it seems like he might be one of those authors that I just enjoy everything he writes. We'll see. Next up is a book that was for the House Salt Book Club. If you guys don't know, my friends and I that are booktubers all have a book club together, and every month we read a book and then do a live show on it. Well, not every month, but most months on Sam from Thoughts on Tomes' channel. So I'll link that down in the description and up above if you want to check it out. But one of the books that we read last year was Malibu Rising by Taylor Jenkins Reid. This one follows a group of 4 siblings that live in Malibu, California. Their father is incredibly famous. 2 of the siblings are, well, 3 of the siblings are famous for different things. During the course of this book, you follow this set of 4 siblings as they're living and dealing with trauma and just figuring out what they want to do with their lives and what direction they want their lives to take. All 4 of them have very different problems going on, and it's just a huge mess. I will be talking about this book when I do my last wrap-up of 2021, because I haven't filmed that one yet. Because this family is so messy, they are so fun to read about, but it's also terrible because there's all the drama and everything that goes along with all their trauma and everything. Yeah. Got this one, and I'm happy to add it to my shelves. And if you didn't know, this is an adult contemporary novel. Taylor Jenkins Reid is a very popular booktube favorite. Next up is this package. In there was some art for The Infinity Courts by Akemi Dawn Bowman. This came out last year, in the middle of last year. I don't know where this box was sitting. So in there was an arc for this book, The Infinity Courts by Akemi Dawn Bowman. In this book, it follows a girl named Nami Miyamoto, and at the beginning of the book, she thinks that her life is just, you know, going fine. She's about to graduate high school. She just graduated high school. On the way to a party after graduation, she ends up dying and waking up like in a different world, and she finds out that she has to fight for her life in this like other realm, I guess. Sounds pretty interesting. It sounds a bit sci-fi. We'll see. If you guys have read this one, let me know what you thought about it, because it's been out since April of last year. That one was sent to me by Simon & Schuster. I did not mention that. Next up is this one. How do I open this? Ta-da! Oh wow, there's a lot of moss, like dried up moss. This is a whole thing. And there is a cookie. I'm definitely not eating this because this box has been in my room for so long. Sorry, Nook, you can't have it. It's a sugar cookie, and it is hard as a rock, but it looks fun. Ugh, this is why I should do book hauls more often. That's what the cookie looked like, and it is so hard. My bad. There was also a forest crown in there. I'm not going to open it because it's going to cause a huge mess. There is a like Red Riding Hood style something cloth. And there was a copy of Beasts and Beauty Dangerous Tales by Saman Shinani. I don't know if this has anything to do with his other series. I don't think so. But this is a set of short stories. It looks like it is illustrated, and I don't think it has anything to do with his School for Good and Evil. I don't think it's related to that. But if you're looking for like fairy tale-esque short stories, here's another one. Next up are a couple of books I bought myself. First up is Frankenstein by Mary Shelley. I had planned to read this in October and I never ended up doing it. If you haven't heard of Frankenstein before, I'm shocked. But it follows this scientist Frankenstein who tries to play God and create life, and it causes all sorts of problems for the like monster and everyone else. I will end up reading this at some point, but I might have to save it for October again. These are also the Everyman's Library editions, which are the type of classics that I like to collect. I like how all the spines look when you line them up together, and they come with a ribbon marker. This one is green, and inside the dust jacket, the like actual hardcover color corresponds to the time and the place that it was written. So I just really like these editions. I also picked up People We Meet on Vacation by Emily Henry. This is a contemporary romance book that we had chosen for a certain month for the House Salt Book Club, but I didn't end up reading it because I was out of town and I missed the live show. At some point I will be reading this, maybe during this upcoming summer. It was a pretty popular book, and it started off having a lot of good reviews, and then it started getting some mixed ones, so I'm curious to see where I'll fall on that spectrum. So it follows 2 characters, Poppy and Alex. It seems like they were really incredible friends. They didn't have all that much in common, but they just got along really, really well, and they used to take vacations together, everything like that. Then on one vacation, it seems like they might have tried to take things to the next level based off the blurb, and it didn't work out well. Now, 2 years later, Poppy is asked when the last time she was truly happy was, and she realizes that it was when she was on vacation with Alex, and she convinces Alex to go on one last vacation. Romance probably ensues from there, if we're being real. Next up, I was given a book by a friend whose friend wrote it, if that makes sense. That is Mad World Lost Souls by Brandon T. Bernard. This is an Alice in Wonderland related story, Alice's Adventures in Wonderland. I actually just started it. This is my third book of the year, and I'm about 100 pages in. This follows characters that are loosely based off of the characters from the Alice's Adventures in Wonderland story. This girl is the Alice-style character. Her name is Mary Ann. At the beginning of the book, these three characters are basically in a polyamorous relationship, but Cheshire's not there very often. The Alice character, Mary Ann, pops into the story, and they decide that they're going to help Mary Ann get home. There's other things going on other than that, but so far I'm enjoying it. I'll let you guys know what I think when I finish it, because this will be in my first wrap-up of 2022. Next up is this one. This one was sent to me, I believe, by Macmillan. Oh my gosh, I totally forgot about this book, but in there was The Double Life of Danny Day by Mike Thayer. That's Stevie growling. If you guys don't know, I read and reviewed Mike Thayer's debut self-published novel. I don't even know how long ago that was, years. And I really enjoyed it. So when he reached out and said that he was having a book published by Macmillan, or specifically Fuel and Friends, I was like, yeah, bring it, I'll read it. So this one follows a character named Danny Day. The thing with Danny is that he ends up living every day twice. The first time doesn't really matter, and he can just do whatever he wants. And then he lives the day over again, so he has a little bit of extra knowledge when he lives the second day, and that's the one that sticks. At the beginning of the book, his family moves to a new place, and so he's using these extra first days to help him navigate all of the changes and everything like that. I'll let you guys know what I think when I get to it. Next up is this book. This one says She Gets the Girl, which I'm assuming is going to be an FF contemporary book. This one was sent to me by Simon & Schuster. So in there was an arc of She Gets the Girl by Rachel Lippincott and Allison Derrick. I have a few books that are written by Rachel Lippincott, and I haven't read any of them yet. They all sound like they would be pretty fun contemporary reads. This one comes out in April of 2022. So this one follows two characters, Molly and Alex. They are complete opposites. They both go to the same college. However, Alex is a huge flirt, and she always gets the girl, but then she has trouble keeping the girl. And on the opposite side of the spectrum, Molly is incredibly awkward and doesn't know how to get the girl or whatever. So Alex is trying to convince her current girl that she isn't selfish and flirty all the time. So she decides to help Molly get Molly's crush, and I'm assuming that they develop feelings for each other in the process. Again, this one comes out in April if you're interested. Next up was the House Salt Book Club pick for December, and that was Window Shopping by Tessa Bailey. This is a very short contemporary romance novel that follows a girl named Stella. At the beginning of the book, she's released from prison. She's trying to get up on her feet. She went home for a hot minute and then decided to move to New York. She ends up stopping in front of this store called Vivant, and when she is staring at the Christmas display, a guy named Aiden asks her what she thinks about it. She basically throws down on it, and he tells her to apply to be the new window dresser. Story ensues from there. I didn't really like this all that much, so I wouldn't say like check it out if it at all sounds interesting to you, but for a quick Christmas romance read, it fit the bill fine enough. I probably won't be holding on to this one too much longer, but I figured I'd include it because I did spend money on it and I did purchase it. The next 4 books I bought for a reading project that I decided to assign myself, and the moment that I started that video, I was like, uh-oh, this feels like homework to me. But I bought all the books and I did read them all, but it took me forever and probably contributed to me not reading very much last year because I hate being forced to do something, and I don't even know why I tried to force myself to do something. Anyway, the first book that I bought for this reading project, which I still will do the video for because, gosh darn, I'm just gonna finish it, but I decided to read 5 contemporary romances, and I wanted to get a good variety. But the first book I picked up and purchased was The Secrets in My Scowl by A.E. Via. I don't know how to say your last name. Also, if you didn't know, MM stands for like male-male romance, and that includes, at least in my definition, anybody that identifies as a man or as male. So this one follows two characters. One of them is a wedding planner, and he starts his own wedding planning business, whatever. He's very chipper and very happy. And then the other character is a divorce attorney named Jacob. The wedding planner is named Wild. Jacob and Wild end up being across the hall from each other, and the story goes off from there. I'm sure you will be hearing much more about this book in the near future. You okay, Nook? Hey, Bubs. I love you. Next up, I picked up Second Chance by Jay Northcote. I don't know how to say his last name either. This one follows a trans guy named Nate. At the beginning of the book, you find out that he's recently-ish moved back home to his mom's house along with his daughter. At the beginning of the book, he runs into his old high school best friend that he doesn't talk to anymore named Jack. Jack doesn't recognize Nate at first because they haven't spoken since Nate transitioned. They meet and decide to start hanging out or reconnecting or whatever, and the story ensues from there. I've actually already read this one as well, as I've already said, and I'll let you guys know what I think about it when I do those videos. Next up, I picked up Under a Sky of Ash by Brandon Witt. This one follows two characters. Isaiah is a school teacher, I believe. Yes. And he's come back home to his hometown, which he has a lot of bad memories with because of homophobia and all of that stuff. He ends up running into or meeting this guy named Ben. Ben is a recovering addict. They just kind of start talking, and it seems like there might be something there between them, but there's also secrets that each one is holding on to. And throughout the course of the story, you get to figure out what those secrets are. Again, I'll let you guys know soon. And the last one that I picked up for that reading project was Rare by Briar Prescott. This is the one that I finished most recently. This one follows a character named Alex. At the beginning of the book, he is incredibly spoiled, but he's only like 18, so I kind of expect a super, super rich, bratty 18-year-old with absentee parents to be a little bit annoying and bratty. Anyway, his father gets fed up with him. He gets in trouble with the law. He gets sent away to work at a wilderness facility that rescues animals. He meets Nathan. And then even in the blurb, which I think is spoiling too much, but whatever, they part ways. And then it's like 19 years later or 20 years later, whatever it is, they meet again, and then the story keeps going from there. Again, I'll let you guys know soon what I thought of this one. Wasn't my favorite, but I'll go into more detail in those videos. This was actually my first read for 2022, so wasn't starting off on the best note. Next up is this one. This one says, Venice holds more secrets than water. This one I actually found sitting in my car. I've been so disorganized since just the pandemic started, but this one has Ciao from Venice, and it is an arc that came out in June of One Great Lie by Deb Coletti. So this one follows a girl named Charlotte. At the beginning of the book, she wins a scholarship for a writing workshop in Venice. It's with the charismatic and brilliant Luca Bruni. And apparently they just spend that summer together and writing, and she's trying to track down a mystery of her family. Like, one of her ancestors might be responsible for this really famous writing. I don't know. But it seems like she thinks that her time in Venice is going to be like really fun and filled with romance. Turns into being more of a mystery and trying to find these deep truths about the history of powerful men and the determination of creative girls. This one came out last year. If you've read it, let me know what you thought about it. Next up is this Pomeranian box. This one has a pop socket that says I Heart MM on it. In here was Take Me Home Tonight by Morgan Matson. This was an arc that came out in May of last year. So this one follows two friends, Kat and Stevie. They're best friends, they're theater kids, and at the beginning of the book, they decide that they're gonna sneak away from the suburbs to spend a night in New York City, and while there, all hell breaks loose, and they have an extreme experience, basically. Again, this one came out last year. If you've read it, let me know. We're getting down to the wire. We're almost done. Next up, I pre-ordered a book, and I've also read this one, and that is Under the Whispering Door by TJ Klune. This was his Tor published fantasy romance novel that came out at the end of last year. In this one, it follows a character named, I already forgot his name, Wallace. At the beginning of the book, he dies. He is taken to this tea house, which is basically a place where people go to then be helped to accept their passing on to the next stage of their afterlife or whatever. But the problem is that Wallace doesn't really want to go through that and doesn't want to go on to the next stage and just has a lot of questions and he's not ready. The owner of the tea house, Hugo, has decided that he's going to help Wallace with whatever needs to be done to get him to accept where he was at, accept the life that he lived, and accept that he needs to move on to the next stage. The problem is that they kind of start to develop some feelings for each other. Story ensues from there. Again, I've already read this one. I actually wrote out all my notes to do an individual review on this, so let me know if you're still interested in that. I've done a lot of reviews for TJ Klune books, so I figured I would add this one to the list. Because I pre-ordered it and told Tor about it, or did that whole thing where I said that I pre-ordered it, they sent a poster of some of the like promotional artwork. This is Hugo and this is Wallace. Yeah, I'm happy to have this, and I thought the artwork was beautiful, and it really does depict the house and everything that's happening really, really well. Like all this, all that. Great. I don't know where I'm gonna put a poster up, but I'm happy to have it. The second to last book in this book haul is Dune by Frank Herbert. This was the House Salt book club pick for a couple of months. Because of the size of it, we decided to let us have some extra time to get it done. It turned out that not a lot of people in House Salt really loved this book. In this one, it follows a character, I forgot his name. He is the son of a noble family. At the beginning of the book, they are shipped off to this planet, and it seems like there is some political maneuverings that are happening, and so going to this planet is not an altogether good thing for them. Once there, they have to deal with all of these political maneuverings that are happening. They have to try to learn to live on a new planet that has a very different ecosystem to the one that they're used to. There's also a group of people that live on the planet that are not under the control, or at least under the direct control of the government that this kid and his family are controlled by. There's all of that. And so you learn a lot about this planet and about this family and about this world and how it's set up over the course of this first novel of this series. Again, I read this at the end of last year. It's October or November that I finished it. So this will be in my last wrap up of 2021. So I'll give you more thoughts on it then, but it's a very well-known science fiction classic, so I'm happy to add this to my like leather-bound hardcover editions, as well as just having checked this one off the list. And the last book in this book haul is in this box. I hit myself in the face. So in there, you open it up. This is by, I've read this one. Who is this by? Margaret Rogerson. So in there is a bookmark that has the picture of the book on it, a letter from the author that says, "Dear reader, hello and welcome to the haunted world, Vespertine," or Vespertine, I don't know how to pronounce that. And there's a velvet bag that has a crystal, or some resin crystal on a chain, and a candle. Incense, vanilla, and sandalwood. That smells good. I'll let you guys get the whole picture. Here, put it back in there. That's what it looks like when I opened it. Ah. So in there was an arc of Vespertine by Margaret Rogerson. This is the same author that wrote the library one. What is that called? I've read that one. Sorcery of Thorns, and then I forgot the name of the other one. So this one follows a character named Artemisia. Don't know if I'm saying that correctly. She's a Grey Sister, so basically she prepares dead bodies so that they can be cleansed and made sure that their souls pass on. If the bodies are not cleansed in a proper fashion, then the souls can get restless and have a ravenous hunger for the living. At the beginning of the book, her convent is attacked, and she protects herself by awakening a spirit, which turns out to be a revenant. The problem with that is that revenants are incredibly powerful, and only certain people that have specific training can control them, but no one has this specific training. She turns to the only source of information for how to control a revenant, which is the revenant itself. Throughout the course of the story, she's trying to protect herself, protect others, figure out what she's supposed to do next, and all of that. It does sound a little bit like how in A Sorcery of Thorns, the guy, the love interest, he has a bond with a demon, and the demon is dangerous and all of those things, but you end up really liking the demon. He's my favorite character of that book. So it sounds like there might be something similar happening in here, where the revenant is going to be my favorite character in the book. We'll see if that happens. But if you didn't know, this one came out last year. The book says it came out in September, but the box says it came out in October, so I don't know which one is correct or if it got delayed. But if you didn't know this was a thing, it is, and you should check it out if it sounds interesting. This one was sent to me by the publisher, and that is Simon & Schuster. So those are all the books that I received before the holiday season. It has been a very long time since I did a book haul because some of those books were published in the middle of last year. So I apologize for that. But again, all the books that will be in the next book haul will be all the books that I received for Christmas and my birthday. And hopefully it is not as long as this video was. If you like this video, please give it a big thumbs up and comment down below if you've heard of some of these books. Have you read them? How did you like them? I've read some of them, so I don't need to read those. But if you want to know more of my thoughts on any of these books, let me know. Anything else you want me to know, leave it down below, and we will talk to you guys next time. Bye. Nookie, say bye. Good boy.